This segment of Naperville Sports Weekly is brought to you by Boomba, performance and athletic apparel.
We're here with Tim McCoskey, girls head coach for the cross-country team here at Neuqua Valley. We appreciate your time, Tim. Thanks for stopping or letting us stop by.
Oh, no problem.
All right, so let's talk about, for some context here, walk us through last season, a very good year for this program, 10th place at state, another team qualifying year, and it was an important year also because, you know, matched the boys in terms of state finish, but just kind of walk me through last year, a big year for the program.
Yeah, and I was going to say, and the boys and us are different, you know, like that was a little down year for them, they had some injuries, and it was a little up year for us, you know, hopefully, you know, we'll continue to grow. But for us, it was a big year just because, like, we'd been at the state 2 of the 3 previous years, but we had more talent last year, and like we could see things starting to change, and like we knew that, you know, the years before we had been kind of lucky to get there and got, you know, 21st and 22nd or 22nd, 23rd, and we kind of knew that's where we fit as a program. And last year we knew, you know, even going into the state meet, you know, we'd run well all year, but we knew we could keep running better. I would say if you picked us most days throughout the year, you just said, you know, they're probably about the 15th best, and, you know, the girls really performed well. You know, we had 6 PRs at the state meet, and all of a sudden that 15 turns to a 10. So it was a great starting point for us.
I think that's kind of important for a program to maybe change the mentality where you're not just happy to be at the state meet, you want to perform well.
Yeah, and I think that was the thing. Like we had gone into the previous years knowing that a good race would get us there in the sectionals, but knowing that probably, you know, anything past about 20th, you know, wasn't super realistic. So.
All right, so walk us into this season. Just getting started. Got the Red Devil coming up this weekend. Lost a couple of seniors between years. You, as a coach, you deal with that every single year. But you have a lot of young talent on this team that's looking to strive to get back to where the team was last year.
No, we do, and we're happy. Like, we lost Claire Costello, who I always say, like, we will miss Claire as much Monday through Friday as we will on Saturday. Like, Claire, you know, for the last 3 seasons, really led every interval that our team ran. And the only time she didn't was when we held her back to make her chase in the intervals a little bit. So, yeah, we definitely miss, you know, her leadership and performance. And, you know, we had other seniors too. Like, what I am excited about this year, we actually have 3 back from last year's state team. We have a 4th who ran, you know, 90% of the meets with the varsity. So yeah, we bring back Julia Pena, Lauren Pincala, Kaitlin Horn, and then you add Anastasia Bernat in there. And really 4 of our core 7 from last year are back. And then, yeah, we've added some nice pieces. So, like, I think really we have the potential to be a better team than last year if we can kind of bring them together here. So.
Teach me a little bit about Kaitlin Horn, a girl who was just a freshman last year and, like you said, was in the state meet last year and performed very well, just north of 18 minutes in her state meet run. Tell me a little bit about her and what she's trying to improve on a very good freshman campaign.
Yeah, and we've actually been, you know, very fortunate because, you know, even Pena was a sophomore and had run, you know, just under the 18-minute mark as a freshman. And, like, yeah, the key there is growth and mileage for both of them. You know, like, Horn's mileage increased dramatically last summer to this summer. So, like, what we're trying to do now is add strength with her. And obviously she's got incredible natural ability. And hopefully, like I said, if we can just keep upping the training, she gets stronger and stronger, she'll continue to grow.
As a coach, how do you kind of determine when to push for more strength training or anything like that? Is it just kind of you wait and see approach, you just kind of see how they run out there?
Well, and it's interesting because, like, you know, with the freshmen, you know, your biggest fear with the freshmen is that they're coming on really strong and you really don't want to get them hurt. So, like, you know, sometimes the cautious route is the best route. Because, you know, you're not quite sure. You know, some of them you've had in the middle school programs and seen at least, or in the summers, but, like, some of them, this is your first experience with them. So, like, you kind of want to keep them well under the injury threshold. So yeah, I definitely think freshman year, my tendency is to bring them along really slow. You know, in fact, I ran, you know, both Julia Pena and Kaitlin Horn fresh off for a couple meets the first time until, you know, we thought she was ready for the varsity. And then, you know, as things goes on, you add a little more to the plate and see what they can handle. So.
And for the younger girls like that who are kind of maybe more or less a surprise last year, they're going to be counted on as leaders, as anchors on this team for the top 7. Do you think they're ready for that type of responsibility?
I think they are. Like I think well, I won't really call it a test because it was just our Navy and Gold. We did our inter squad meet, but I was really happy. Like the girls ran well, they ran confident. They came in strong but easy. They weren't overextended and exhausted. And I think one of the things is we're deeper than we've been. So a lot of those kids, instead of having to carry the load individually, have been able to kind of rely on each other. And I think that really makes for a better team.
This season, we were talking a little bit about, before the camera started rolling, about 90 deep or so, the roster getting larger after kind of ballooning up and then getting smaller, getting larger again. What do you think that says about the attractiveness of running cross country here in high school?
Yeah, I mean, I hope it says we're going in the right direction. One of the things that I was probably most proud about in our summer program was a lot of kids took steps up, and a lot of kids like Kaitlin Horn, and we've got a good, really group of sophomores, with Isabella Cerna and Erin Som and Megna Vijayan and all those guys kind of jumping up, or those girls kind of jumping up. But really, what I felt was really neat is I saw mileage goals grow from our second and third groups too. And I think it's one thing when you get a kid who has the potential to run 18:30. That will increase mileage for you and take a big jump. I think it's another thing when you've got a kid that potentially is only going to run 22 minutes, making those same jumps. So like when the numbers grew, and I guess the numbers are great, but what I really loved was that the fact that the workouts were growing too, and they weren't just numbers; they were kids really dedicated and working hard. So.
And that dedication kind of plays into what you see out of them on practice runs and during these meets. From your standpoint, from a coach's view, what makes a great runner as far as the physical attributes, the mental attributes? What kind of balance goes into a great runner?
Well, obviously some runners, to some degree are born, because you have their differences, obviously a natural ability. But what I think is great about the sport distance running is even those that are very talented don't really peak without a lot of hard work. So you see a lot of that, and then so it's the talent, it's the hard work, and then I think kind of the best way I can sum it up. There's a point in every race where it hurts, and sometimes since we were talking about the state meet, like sometimes running 10 or 15 seconds faster is the difference between 10 or 20 places, and if that's the case, then if you can get 5 girls to do that, we're talking about a pretty significant amount of points. I think the best runners that you see have an ability to kind of be realistic with the body and understand that, okay, you're screaming at me that I don't have more, but I know I've got a little bit more. And if they can dig and fight through it just a little bit longer, whether it's for the team or for the last all-state place, I think those are the things that make runners great.
We spoke a little bit about the depth on this team and how some of the younger players coming up, helping the top 7 out. Let's talk about some of the older runners, the more veteran seasoned runners, like we talked about Anastasia before, and Katie Sheehan and Lauren Pincala. Tell me about what they bring to the table as seniors.
Well, and that's what you hope. You hope that when you line up 7, you've got 3 or 4 really solid veteran anchors that you don't have to worry about their head or their nerves, because they're seasoned at that point. And then if they can create the calm atmosphere, you hope that those freshmen, who some just have fantastic talent, can kind of ride the wave a little bit. Because I think that's the thing. Like at the line, you look at your crew, and they should all be a little bit nervous. But realistically, those nerves should be at a minimum. Hopefully, you're more excited. And I think if you can kind of create the right atmosphere with the upper class leaders, those freshmen don't have to overthink things.
And I think as a runner, I would assume anyway, that maybe those nerves at the beginning of a race or at a practice meet, whatever, those kind of maybe help you out in those later race situations where you're feeling like that tank's a little empty and you need to get a little bit more out of yourself. Yeah,
and I think, as I said, nerves can be good and bad, and it's just you don't want them too nervous, you want them comfortable, but you need them to care. And this is, so like you try to keep things as routine as possible, so that they have something to fall back on. But yeah, I mean, it's that extra excitement at the end of the season, especially if you've got momentum going into. Nervous momentum leads to good nervous, because you expect to run well. It's a matter of how much. So then you go out and that's the fun, is finding out. So
we kind of touched on this earlier, but just kind of give me a broad expectation of what you want this team to accomplish at the end of the year.
You know, I think for this team, we've got a lot of pieces, and a lot of pieces from a lot of different directions. Like we've got, like I said, 4 returning. We've got several freshmen who could potentially help us. We've got several sophomores who are moving up into roles where they might help us. We've got, you know, a brand new senior who's never run before who also may help us. And even like, you know, Katie Sheehan, while she's been super experienced in track, this could be her first year in the cross country top 7. So I think we've got a lot of pieces that we're trying to kind of bring together. And if we can do that, I think we really can build on last year's success. So like, yeah, big picture, you know, goal-wise, what's our goal? Well, we want to perform well at conference. We want to perform well at state. We want to do better than we've done. I think we can be a better team. Big picture, you know, kind of socially, I think our goal is to bring this team together because that allows everybody to relax a little bit and, you know, rely on each other. So.
Good thoughts. Well, we appreciate your time. Good luck this season. That's Coach Tim McCoskey. We appreciate your time.
All right, thank you very much.